A lot of people have said that we have not given the Morgan real competition, even though it was up against a 911, a Land Rover, a Vanderhall. So this week, we've got something serious. We're here at the Custom Shop in Long Island City, one of the best shops in New York, the shop I bring my M5 to see the Morgan face off against this, a 2016 Ford Mustang GT that has had an absolute mountain of aftermarket work done to it. Today, Morgan versus aftermarket Mustang. And to help us out, we have the cast of Kids in Cars Getting Coffee. We have Dave, Jesse, and Brandon, who are going to chime in if I need backup to prove that I'm right and that everything else is junk. Now go away. And we have Brett, the co-founder of the Custom Shop, who's an actual expert in cars, will explain and justify all of the money that's gone into this car, because obviously on paper it's great, but none of that matters because it's junk and the Morgan's going to win. Let's get started. We start, of course, with wheels and tires. The Morgan comes with these beautiful 18-inch wire wheels, which are bent from the factory, and these tires which are no good, and that's part of the fun. And the Mustang it comes stock with 20s, and the owner has upgraded to different wheels that are also 20s, so the money was wasted. This is junk, the Morgan wins. So Brett, if it comes with 20s, why did you sell the customer aftermarket 20s?
Well, I can't go smaller because the brakes are so big, and I think anything bigger than that would look, quite frankly, ridiculous and really wouldn't fit correctly. So 20s is the best bet for the Mustang.
So Custom Shop wins, customer loses. This is junk, Morgan wins. Kids, what do you think of these wheels?
Junk!
Let's move on. Let's talk about the headlights. These aren't the stock headlights, are they?
They are the stock headlights, yeah.
Even blacked out? They come blacked out like that?
No, the customer actually, we didn't do the job, but they had somebody open them up and paint them black on the inside and do a little yellow pinstripe in there.
And so you couldn't talk them out of doing this, it was too late?
Yeah, pretty much. You just showed up this way, and obviously they didn't.
Well, so I don't even have to say that this is junk because even you will concede that it is. So it's junk and the Morgan wins. Kids?
Junk!
Yeah, it's true. Let's talk about the front aero and what appears to be a splitter on top of a splitter. What's happening here?
Yeah, definitely right, Alex. You got a splitter on top of a splitter on top of a bumper.
It's like a car is giving birth to itself like an Escher painting. It looks like great installation work, but do you think this is tasteful?
Listen, with how extreme the car looks, it's pretty decent. Yeah, definitely. I think I kind of like it.
Kids, what is it?
Junk!
Morgan wins. Let's talk about exterior, paint, and fit and finish. The Morgan looks amazing as it gets dirty because it's evidence that it was actually running, which is rare. And the Mustang is covered in some kind of wrap, which looks worse the longer you look at it before it gets dirty. Brett, what's happening here?
Well, we have a full satin black 3M wrap on this Mustang GT. We're under a tree, and it seems like a couple of the birds decided to crap on it.
A lot of excuses.
But,
what about this fit and finish?
This fit and finish, well, the carbon fiber fender right here.
Yep.
To make it more lightweight.
Yep.
Obviously doesn't fit too well when we wrapped over it, but yeah, he did wrap over the carbon so everything looks, uniform.
So like a Tesla, but cheaper. Kids, what is this?
Junk!
Morgan wins. Fit and finish, we're not done because here there's a carbon fiber piece of trim and it lights up. Is that correct?
Absolutely, check that out.
And what about this fit and finish here, Brett? What do you say about that?
Well, it's a hand-laid carbon fiber, so maybe sometimes you don't have the best fitment, but I think it does look pretty trick on this fender.
Did you provide these parts?
We didn't. The customer actually sent all these parts. He designed it himself. I just did the install, so.
So Custom Shop wins, customer loses. This is junk. Kids?
Junk!
Morgan wins. Let's talk about the rear light treatment. Brett, what are we looking at here? These are these stock?
They are not stock. These are aftermarket LED taillights for the Mustang.
And how much do these lights cost?
Probably about $400.
And they look a little bit like Ferrari lights, don't they?
People say they pay homage to the Ferrari, absolutely.
But it's not a Ferrari.
It is not a Ferrari.
So it's junk and the Morgan wins. So here at the rear, we've got 4 pipes. Did you install these pipes?
I did install these pipes,
but
absolutely.
There aren't actually 4 pipes coming out of the motor.
No, there's 2 pipes.
There's 2 pipes with double tips.
Correct.
And, right, so when you make love to your wife, are there other men in the room?
Usually not.
Who don't speak?
So.
So this is...
Yeah, this is kind of...
What is it, kids?
Junk!
And the Morgan wins. Let's talk about the backup camera. It has one. Is this from the factory?
It is from the factory.
Why didn't you remove it?
Why didn't I remove it?
Yeah.
You're gonna have a huge ass hole in the trunk if you remove it.
So the driver didn't demand its removal, and you didn't offer to do so.
No.
So he's a coward. You're a fool. Kids, what is this?
Jump!
Morgan wins. Let's talk about the trunk and storage. Can you open this for me?
Absolutely.
All right. Whoa, that is really nice. You did this work?
Actually, I didn't do this, unfortunately, man. I sold him all the speakers. He has a buddy who owns an audio shop specifically. He had him do it.
That's beautiful. Did you do this?
No.
What is that?
That is a release. So in case you're stuck in the trunk, you can get out of there.
An escape latch for a child to escape. But the most weirdest thing about it is that it's loose and appears to be broken, so it's been used before. So it's
Jump!
Morgan wins. Let's take a look at the engine bay.
There she blows.
Looks pretty stock to me. Is it stock?
It is stock. Absolutely.
I mean, I want to say it's junk, but it probably isn't. It's Ford. It's pretty solid.
Classic 302, man.
I don't know what to say about this. Kids, what do you think? Morgan wins. Let's talk about visibility. Brett,
Yes.
how many horsepower does this car have?
Probably 450 horsepower.
Nobody cares. It literally does not matter if a Mustang has 2,000 horsepower. It doesn't matter if it does a quarter mile in 3 seconds. If your Mustang is built after 1964, it is essentially invisible because look at it. It's a Mustang. Therefore, visibility rating is 0. The Morgan is awesome. This is
Jump!
Morgan wins. Let's talk about specs. Brett, how much is a stock Mustang GT, even vaguely?
40 grand, right around there.
How much work has been done to this car?
This gentleman probably has about $10,000 into this car.
And is it any better specifications-wise?
As far as what he did to it,
Stop right there. Nobody cares. For about $50,000, you have a Mustang GT with a variety of mods, which is approximately the cost of a Morgan three-wheeler. In a Mustang, no matter how much you try, no matter where you go or how fast you drive, no matter what happens, you will be only surrounded by young boys, hence our junk judgment team. Whereas in a Morgan, you'll be plastered with women of all ages who want to get in the car. For example, Diane Lane once spoke to me. Therefore, this is
Jump!
and the Morgan wins. Let's talk about ingress and egress. Seems pretty traditional, no surprises. Okay, I guess I was cool with that. It was, I hate to say it, but Mustang wins. Let's talk about the interior. This looks like a pretty stock interior.
it is.
Did you do any work to it?
Really on the inside, short shifter, and we got an EQ here for his sound system in the trunk.
Yeah, I'm pretty cool with this. I mean, what's this?
Maybe a status light for the factory alarm, possibly.
And what about, that looks like a radar detector mount, but it doesn't, did you do that?
No, I didn't. No.
It doesn't look like a Valentine or an Escort radar detector. Hey kids, what's the best radar detector?
Valentine one.
And so, what's this?
It's eBay junk.
So it's junk and the Morgan wins. The custom shop is one of the best shops in New York and the country. If it wasn't, I wouldn't bring the Polizei M5 here for work. I'm going to spend more money here because it's a great shop. And a lot of people bring their cars here to get great work done. But the truth is, despite all the work that's been done, this thing is still absolute junk. It has lost every possible competition except ingress and egress, which is now why it's time for driving impressions.
All right, as far as this Mustang GT goes, pretty decent car. Customer sent me all the parts. I put everything he wanted on it. If I designed it from the ground up, it might not be specifically like this. But again, I did exactly what the customer wanted me to do. Again, Alex ripped it up in the video. It's not as bad as he says it is. But our shop does some pretty killer work. We do Alex's M5 all the time, so we obviously know we're capable of some good stuff. Again, pretty decent car, not exactly, the best example of what I can do out of the shop, but definitely not bad.
The customer loves it, I know. Are you saying that it's not junk?
It's pretty junky. I'll give it that.
Junk!
Morgan wins. Morgan wins.
There you go, man.
Driving impressions. Well, you can't get around the fact that the speedometer actually says ground speed, as if this thing could actually take off. Wait a second, it could totally take off, because everyone knows, and I'm not making this part up, that Mustang handling has traditionally been terrible. I suppose it's entirely possible this thing could take off, given how much power you get for your dollar. It's an incredible value. Mustangs have become great cars, and that's the problem. Real exotic ownership requires a car to kind of suck and to be problematic and to have, I mean, what makes a car fun? Original sin. A car's got to have sin and have a flaw for you to learn what its limitations are, master them, and become a better driver. A Mustang has gone from being an actual piece of junk to be a good car, which makes it, as an exotic, actually worthless. Because when a Mustang GT stock, especially modded, can lap the Nürburgring and match or beat a new M3, then everything is junk. Nothing is fun. Nothing has value. Now this is a decent car. This is actually probably a great car. But all these aftermarket mods, no matter how much a customer likes them, to me they actually are junk. The wrap, the body fitment, the panel gaps, the this, the that. It's turned what is really the perfect American pony car into what, sadly, is, without a joke, actually a piece of junk. Pretty good exhaust note, though. You can't get around the fact that it's a ticket magnet. It's too loud. It looks like an iron skillet someone... Oh, now there's a good car. Miata. Not junk. Whoa. It's a sad world when a group of children hanging out at an aftermarket shop where they work for free for school credit know more than people who've worked in the industry their entire lives. But it's quite clear that in this comparo, the Mustang is junk and the Morgan wins. Whatever you want to say.
Hi, I'm Jess Soto. I work at the custom shop. They obviously do good work, but this is not a good example of it. As you can clearly see, it's so bad that the birds even like to shit on it. It's parked under a tree for a reason. Pretty sure it can't go in a straight line either. Doesn't really look that nice. But it's at the custom shop, meaning that if Alex Roy brings this car here, it's the best shop in the area.
But which car is better? And which
The Morgan, and this is junk.
Exactly, dude. You absolutely know your cars, dude. These other people, they don't know anything about cars. They should put you in charge of the customer shop.
Yeah, you're fucking killer, dude.
Well done.